Hello friends, today I am going to explain you about various options that are present as part of the policy. So policy is a reusable object and policy once created can be associated uh, anywhere with the top level services that exist in the data power. So as we know there are 5 top level services and they are web services proxy primarily and multi-protocol gateway XML firewall, web application firewall and of course the XSL accelerator. So once you create a policy, that policy can be attached in any of these top level services in order to work for you. The purpose of policy is to provide processing rules within your application, within your top level application. So if you want to do some kind of customized processing on request and response messages, then the policy is the place which you need to where you need to configure most of your options. And based upon your options, it will process your income and outgoing messages. Now, I have explained how to configure a policy in my earlier video, and in this video, I'm going to explain you about what are the options possible when we are configuring a policy. So let's get started over here. Uh, we are on a screen which shows a multi-protocol gateway policy, and you can see your options, your configuration option here, where I am right now placing my mouse. So I will explain you about these options in brief, and so that you understand what these are and how to configure them. So let's start with filter. Filter is an option which allows you to filter your request, as the name suggests. But what to filter? So, for example, if you have a message and you want to filter it so that you protect yourself from SQL injection, then filter is the place to go. So, if you place it here and if you double click it, its configuration window opens. Right. So you can see the screen. Now, if you go ahead and check the style sheet, you can see you can have, give me a moment, I'm saying store and I'm checking store. And I have a style sheet which says SQL injection filter. So if I configure this in this way, what it will do is that when a request or response comes to the data power, and suppose this rule is hit, it will first check for the SQL injection. So data power has built-in support for SQL injection. Now you can extend this support, of course, and you can have your own style sheet specified over here, which does which may do entirely different thing than the name filter suggests. For example, it may append HTTP header on the overall request, but that is something that you should not do in the filter action. Filter is something which says that I want to filter something from the request. So SQL injection is something which we can check over here. And there are other actions as well. You can see virus protection option is always there for you. So these are some of the things that we can do with the filter. The connection seems to be a little bit slow, so I'm closing this and I'm removing this because I do not want to modify my existing policies. Now second thing is sign. As the name suggests, sign is an action which allows you to appropriately sign the incoming message, request or response. So when I say incoming message, I mean the rules can be applied for both incoming as well as incoming message from a client as well as incoming message from a backend server. So the direction can be both. So sign action can be utilized to sign the message. Now this action is typically useful and its configuration options are typically exhaustive, but the two things that you need to sign a message is the only thing that you need to sign a message is for that matter uh, a private key. And if you look at the options that are available with sign message, you can see that although options looks pretty much exhaustive, but at the core, if you specify the private key by which signature needs to be put, it will put that signature in the message and then move ahead. Options may also look typically complex because Datapower has a support to sign any part of the message. So it's not like that you can sign the overall message. You can sign any particular part of that message as well. So that kind of support is built in, and because of that, options looks complex, but signature does what? That kind of thing only. So you can say that how a signature is configured, and you see that ultimately you will have to provide the key, the private key that you need, that must be there in order to sign a, a message. So this is what sign is. Now let me delete it as well. Now there is verify option. Verify is basically there to verify digital signature, and this is particularly useful when you are doing a B2B transaction. So consider a scenario in which you are getting some document, you are integrating with your vendor and you are getting some document over the internet. The first thing that you need to do is to verify whether the signature on that document is correct or not, so that appropriate actions can be taken further. So this action will provide, this verify option will give you a place where you can configure and you can verify the signature that is present on the message. Another is validate. I forgot it. So what it does, let me see what it does. Hmm. So I believe the options that are available here says that the validate option is mainly for validating documents or with respect to a schema. So for example, if I can envision a use case over here is that let's suppose that you are getting a SOAP document, uh, uh, you are getting a SOAP document, and now you want to validate whether this SOAP document is valid against the schema or not. So you can specify options over here, and you can validate a SOAP document with a particular schema, so that if validation is complete, then next action will happen, or things will be stopped. Now, SOAP a document is just one example. The document can be any valid XML document, so that is not something which is restricted. So that's how the validate action works. Now, after validate action, we have encrypt and decrypt. These are typically two advanced level processing concepts. The name typically suggests what they do. So encrypt means they will encrypt the message, and decrypt means they will decrypt the message. But the only thing to remember here is that Datapower is able to encrypt and decrypt not the whole message, but any part of it. So for example, if you have a XML document, and in that XML document there are 10 attributes related to a person, for example, but you want to encrypt certain part of it, for example date of birth, SSN number, and the bank account number. You want to encrypt only that part of it. That you can achieve with encrypt function. You have to provide appropriate options, and then encrypt will encrypt that. Similar is the case with the decrypt. Decrypt works on whole document as well as part of it. So you can decrypt the whole document as well as any of the attributes or any of the specific tags that exist inside that document. So this is decrypt option. Transform is typically a most commonly used options. So as I said earlier, inside the filter, if you choose the filter option, it provides you the flexibility of providing your style sheet that you can mention, and that style sheet will be invoked when a message comes to it. Filter options mostly used for example, filtering incoming message based on some criteria like filtering for SQL injection, filtering for virus attachments, etc., etc. Transform is the general place where you provide your custom style sheet so that custom processing can happen over your message. For example, let's say that a message came to your object, and you want to add some header, some HTTP header on top of that. You want to remove some HTTP header on top of that, or or you want to remove some part of the message on top of that, or for example, you want to enrich the message. So when a message comes to you, you want, based on some criteria, you want to connect to a database, get some more information, put that information inside the incoming message so that that message gets enriched and put it back and then send it over to the backend server. These all kinds of things can be done using transform action, and you need to provide appropriate style sheet for that. So transform action is there. Now route option gives you the flexibility that based on some criteria your message can be routed on backend server A or backend server B. So that is what route option is over there. AAA action. This is the heart and soul of Datapower authentication policy. So the AAA option provides you the flexibility that you can configure authentication, authorization, and auditing policy on the Datapower. So whenever a message comes to you, comes to this particular object, and suppose the rule is hit, you will examine the message from AAA perspective. AAA is pretty much advanced topic and needs explanation in its own. I have tried to capture how AAA policies work in Datapower in my earlier video, so you can have a look at it. And if you have questions, you are welcome to post here. AAA policies are for those purposes. Now, another is the results. So consider this. What is this result? Now that you have done a lot of processing on the on your incoming or outgoing messages, and you have enriched it, or you have filtered it, or you have done blah 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 kind of thing to your message. Now it's time to send your message to appropriate destination. Now that destination can be anything. That destination can be a file system on the Datapower, or your backend server, or just a echo reply to your client. So such kind of routing, or not routing, such kind of dumping the results is achieved using the results action. So it is typically a customary thing that you place results option to the end of the rule, so that uh, your requests are put to your backend server or echo replied based upon your context. So you can see I have configured many different rules, and there are a lot of rules over here. But I have just selected the results action at the end of the everyone. This ensures that my requests are uh, processed appropriately, and wherever they need to go, they are going successfully. In this case, the request is going to the server. If I have to put something on the Datapower appliance itself, for example, let's suppose that I have enriched the message and I wanted to dump the whole XML file on the Datapower appliance file system itself, I would have gone for the results option, and there is an option to put the file on the Datapower itself. So this is all. Now, if you look at this whole rule, client to server rule, you can see there is one more icon, and there are actually two icons which are not present here. Here, they are this icon and they are this icon. So this icon says that you are configuring a match rule. So you have a policy. Policy is a top level object. This is the policy, routing rules policy, and a policy is composed of rules. These are the rules. You can see these are the rules. Here. So these are the rules. So a policy is composed of rule. Whenever a top level data power object, for example multi-protocol gateway object, receives a message, uh, if everything is right, policy is hit, so routing rules policy will be activated. Now how, inside a policy there are several rules, how among these one particular rule is picked up? That is picked up because of the match expression. The match expression specifies what is the criteria for activating this particular rule. So that is configured in the match. It has several options for configuring, and I believe in one of my earlier videos I have explained match in a little bit detail how to configure the match action. Now this action is not over here, and this action is related to this advanced action. So if you select this advanced option, and let me double click it, it will take a while to open. Yeah, so once you try to configure the advanced option, it has pretty much a lot of options that you can explore. It can check for antivirus, it can call your processing rule, it can work on conditional routing, so convert query parameters to XML. So this is the option which we have selected over here, convert query parameters to XML. Here, give me a moment. Yeah, this action, this is what convert query parameters to XML, and this action basically does what? So let's say that you are posting a J security form, and you have parameters associated with it. So this action will convert that query parameter into an XML format. So J security form is just an example. It can convert any query parameters into an XML format for that matter. So this is the action that is present over there, and advanced is typically, as the name suggests, is an advanced processing policy, and it has a lot of flexibility in configuring various options. So you can achieve with that. And transform binary is something that wherein a binary message is transformed into an XML format. And transform is something similar to what our earlier policy, which was like this one, yeah, transform. So it is both are same. They allow you to configure your custom style sheet so that you can have a customized processing on the messages. So advanced option typically provides most of the options that you have seen over here, plus other options as well. So you can configure them, and then your processing will take place accordingly. So that's how policies work in the data power, and I have tried to briefly explain each of them, what is their role and typical use cases in data power policy world. So that's all for this video, and thanks for watching. This is Atita.